Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. As always, I am your host, Fearless Floyd. Today is Tuesday, August 15th, 2023. And as you see from behind me, RICO, Racketeering Influence Corrupt Organization. Could a Georgia judge stop the Trump train? What is that exactly, Fearless Floyd? Well, first, you're going to have to like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell. You can even leave a comment below, participate in the chat. You can email me at thefearlessfloydshow@yahoo.com. Always reach me anywhere on any social media platform, The Fearless Floyd Show, and you can go to my website.com. Thank you. Appreciate you being here. This is a very important video that I'm producing right now because I'm going to show you for a fact that a state court judge in Georgia can single-handedly, with the stroke of a pen by their signature, stop the 2024 re-election campaign for Donald John Trump. Are you ready for some real facts, some real legal analysis? Not from one of those TV attorneys, legal analysts, medical experts. No, you're getting the real deal. We're going to go read the statutes, read the law, and we're going to explain it to you. And I'm going to show you that one judge, state judge in Georgia, has that authority to totally stop Donald John Trump's re-election campaign. End of story. You ready? Go get some popcorn, go get something to drink. Come on back. I'll give you a minute. Ain't gonna be long. Time's up. You ready? I know. You're gonna trip. Get over here and make sure I have the right stuff pulled up. Yeah. All my friends out there in MAGA land, QAnon, red pills, my boy Chris, baby Trump, late Michael, -48, 107, Dallas, all you heavy hitters out there, pay attention. Okay? Because y'all listen to all these other mothers and all these other brothers. Hear it from Fearless Floyd because you're going to get the facts, nothing but the facts. So help me God. Y'all ready? 2022 Georgia Code, Title 16, Crimes and Offenses, Chapter 14, Racketeer, Influenced and Corrupt Organizations. Civil remedies. Any superior court may, after making due provisions for the rights of innocent persons, enjoin violations of Code Section 16-14-4 by issuing appropriate orders and judgments, including, but not limited to, number one, ordering any defendant to divest himself or herself of any interest in any enterprise, real property, or personal property. Number two, imposing reasonable restrictions upon the future activities or investments of any defendant, including but not limited to prohibiting any defendant from engaging in the same type of endeavor as the enterprise in which he or she was engaged in violation of Code Section 16-14-4. Ordering the dissolution or reorganization of any enterprise. Ordering the suspension or revocation of any license, permit, or prior approval granted to any enterprise by any agency of the state, or ordering the forfeiture of the charter of the corporation organized under laws of the state, or the revocation of a certificate authorizing a foreign corporation to conduct business within the state upon a finding that the board of directors or a managerial agent acting on behalf of the corporation in conducting the affairs of the corporation has authorized or engaged in conduct in violation of Code Section 16-14-4, and that For the prevention of future criminal activity, the public interest requires that the charter of the corporation be forfeited and that the corporation be dissolved or the certificate be revoked. B, any aggrieved person or the state may institute a civil action under subsection A of this code section. In such civil action, relief shall be granted in conformity with the principles that govern the granting of injunctive relief from threatened loss or damage in other civil cases, provided that no showing of special or irreparable damage to the person shall have to be made upon the execution of proper bond against damages for an injunction improvidently granted and a showing of immediate danger of significant loss or damage. A temporary restraining order and a preliminary injunction may be issued in such action before a final determination on the merits. C, any person who is injured by reason of any violation of Code Section 16-4-4 shall have a cause of action for 3 times the actual damages sustained and, where appropriate, punitive damages. Such person shall also recover attorney's fees in the trial and appellate courts and costs of investigation and litigation reasonably incurred. The defendant of any injured parties may demand a trial by jury in any civil action brought pursuant to this code section. D, any injured person shall have a right or a claim to forfeited property or to the proceeds derived therefrom as set forth in Code Section 9-16-16. A conviction in any criminal proceeding shall stop the defendant in any subsequent civil action or civil forfeiture proceeding under this chapter as to all matters proved in the criminal proceeding. So basically, if you have some civil RICOs pending against you and the state's trying you on a criminal RICO and the state convicts you on a criminal RICO, it automatically convicts you in the civil courts. So there you go. Any superior court may, after making due provisions for the rights of innocent persons, and we already know what the definition of persons are, enjoin violations of Code 16-14-4 by issuing appropriate orders and judgments. So there, we're in 6 right here, 14.6. I'm going to back up. Hang on, I'm not even sharing, am I? I was not sharing any of that. Let me get over here. Let me get back to that. That was 6. All right, I apologize. Here it is. I'm going to read this fast. Any superior court may, after making due provisions for the rights of innocent persons, enjoin violations of Code Section 16-14-4 by issuing appropriate orders and judgments, including but not limited to, number 1, ordering any defendant to divest himself or herself of any interest in any enterprise, real property, or personal property. And I'm going to break that down for you real quick as I go through these again. And the reason being because enterprise, what the Fulton County, Georgia District Attorney's Office just did is turned every reelection campaign, every reelection committee are potential racketeering influenced corrupt organizations. That's what she just did. Okay, now a reelection campaign or an election campaign, potentially a criminal enterprise. Absolutely. Number 2, imposing reasonable restrictions upon future activities or investments of any defendant, including but not limited to prohibiting any defendant from engaging in the same type of endeavor as the enterprise in which he or she was engaged in violation of Code Section 16-14-4. And I'm going to go back to that. It's a list of 43 different Georgia penal code or criminal code offenses. And we're going to read through them. I already read through them at my high noon show. Okay, but I'm going to go through them again. I'm going to show you what's really going on, because you're not going to hear this on mainstream media. You're not going to hear this from Rachel Maddow. You're not going to hear this from Sean Hannity, Gutfeld, Laura Ingraham, you name it. You're not going to hear it from anybody. You're hearing this from Fearless Floyd. We are the new investigative journalists. We bring you the real news, the truth of the matter, the root, the fundamental issue, and you're reading it for the first time here on the Fearless Floyd Show. Absolutely. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell. I'm quite knowledgeable. You'll find out. And I love to research. So we'll move on to number 3, ordering the dissolution or reorganization of any enterprise. So they could clearly label this the law. Parties include the whole entire Republican National Committee. They could dissolve its charter in Georgia. No Republican could be registered to run as a Republican in Georgia. Listen to what's going on, folks. Okay? If this is not the first shot across the bow of an instigation of civil war, I don't know what possibly could be when you actually read the law and you understand, overstand, comprehend, however you get it, exactly what is really going on right before your eyes that you're not getting told because you're being programmed, institutionalized, dumbed down, miseducated, all on purpose. Thank you for being here. Again, number 4, ordering the suspension or revocation of any license, permit, or prior approval granted to any enterprise by any agency of the state. Well, you've got to register to run for president in every state, do you not? Boom. Prior approval granted. Nope, we're reneging that. Picture's looking pretty horrifying, isn't it? Number 5, ordering the forfeiture of the charter of the corporation organized under the laws of this state, or the revocation of a certificate authorizing a foreign corporation to conduct business within the state upon finding that the board of directors or a managerial agent acting on behalf of the corporation in conducting the affairs of the corporation is authorized or engaged in conduct in violation of Code Section 16-14-4, and that for the prevention of future criminal activity, the public interest requires, that's a mandate, that the charter of the corporation be forfeited and that the corporation be dissolved or their certificate be revoked. I'm not making this up. Listen to the words coming out of my mouth. Please comprehend them and get it. This video doesn't go viral. I'm not waking anybody up ever. I'm just knocking on heaven's door. Please, somebody, answer the door. B, any aggrieved person or the state may institute a civil action under subsection A of that code, which I just read. In such civil action, relief shall be granted in conformity with the principles that govern granting of injunctive relief from threatened loss or damage in other civil cases, provided that no showing of special or irreparable damage to the person shall have to be made. Upon the execution of proper bond against damages, and that would be a performance bond, covered that earlier in my show, for loss or damage, a temporary restraining order and a preliminary injunction may be issued in any such action before a final determination on the merits. C, any person who is injured by reason of any violation of Code Section 16-14-4 shall have a cause of action for 3 times the actual damages, treble damages, sustained, and where appropriate, punitive damages. Such persons shall also recover attorney fees in the trial and appellate courts and costs of investigation and litigation reasonably incurred. The defendant or any injured party may demand a trial by jury in any civil action brought pursuant to this code section. D, any injured party shall have a right or claim to forfeited property or to the proceeds derived therefrom as set forth in Code Section 9-16-16. Well, we should all go look that up. I don't know what the hell is going to be forfeited. E, and final, a conviction in any criminal proceeding shall stop the defendant in subsequent civil action or civil forfeiture proceeding under this chapter as to all matters proved in the criminal proceeding, which means everything in the civil matter stop because of the adjudication in the criminal having find guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a greater standard of review than civil court, which is a preponderance of the evidence, more likely than not. Am I giving y'all a little legal analysis? Thought so. There you go. So now let's bounce back to 16-14-4, right? Okay, because we're at 16-14-6. So let's go read what the actual criminal penalties are. All right. I don't know if that's sharing. Zoom does that. Well, I'll go back. Here you go. Here they all are lined up for you. You can go check these out. But we want to go to 4 because we want to find out prohibitive activities. Definitions are standard. It appears to me, having read this in entirety, that it wasn't a word for word adaptation by the state of Georgia of the United States Title 18 USC section 1961 through 68, but they're damn close. All right, prohibited activities. And I'm going to get there, stop share, and go back to share. Make sure I'm sharing. Here you go. All right. There you go. Right there. 4, prohibited activities. Title 16. Title, Crimes and Offenses. Chapter 14, Racketeering Influence to Corrupt Organizations. Section 16-14-4, prohibited activities. Universal citation, Georgia Code, section, blah, blah. A, it shall be unlawful for any person through a pattern of racketeering activity or proceeds derived therefrom to acquire or maintain, directly or indirectly, any interest in or control of any enterprise, real property, personal property of any nature, including money. So right there, we know there's no real property involved in this matter. There's no personal property in this matter. So the only thing there could be is an interest in or control of any enterprise. The only enterprise we have here is a re-election campaign or a presidential election, or we have a political party. Take your pick, folks. Or all 3. You ever thought of that? Real legal analysis, just so you know, right? Directly, indirectly, extremely ambiguous, written this way for a purpose so it can catch more spiders or more flies, rather. There's that. Yeah. B. Okay, so hold on, let's back up here to A. So, okay, we've clearly concluded that what they're talking about is an enterprise, okay? And whether they have any indirect or direct interest in or control of that enterprise, whatever that looks like. So is it the Trump reelection campaign? Is it the Republican National Party? Or is it the presidential office in whole? These are questions we need to ask ourselves. These are questions we need answered immediately. B, it shall be unlawful for any person employed by or associated with any enterprise to conduct or participate in, directly or indirectly, such enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity. It shall be unlawful for any person to conspire or endeavor to violate any of the provisions of subsection A or B of this code section. A person violates this subsection when he or she, together with one or more persons, conspires to violate any of the provisions of subsection A or B of this code section, and any one or more of such persons commits any overt act to affect the object of the conspiracy, or 2, he or she endeavors to violate any of the provisions of subsection A or B of this code section and commits any overt act to the effect the object of the endeavor. There you go. Okay. Now we're going to back up again. Stop share. B. We already did. No, we didn't do 5. So let me here jump over to 5, show you guys what section 5 says. Right here. Okay, section 5. There it is. A, any person convicted of the offense of engaging in an activity in violation of Code Section 16-14-4 shall be guilty of a felony. Oh, this is all punishment. Yeah, sorry. Back up. Look for the crimes. Let me back up. Okay. Because really, if I was really doing an in-depth, true analysis, and this is what I should have done from the very beginning and preface this whole thing, but I can backtrack. Thank God I'm human. Why was this law written? Why was it adopted by Georgia? And what exactly is its target? Let's go find out. Here you go. 16-14-2, findings and intent of the General Assembly, which would be the Georgia legislature or parliament for another example terminology. All right, here we go. A, the General Assembly legislature finds that a severe problem is posed in this state by the increasing sophistication of various criminal elements and the increasing extent to which the state and its citizens are harmed as a result of the activities of these elements. Okay, they're being very specific about what they're trying to address here. B, the General Assembly declares that the intent of this chapter, which is the whole entire RICO chapter, is to impose sanctions against those who violate this chapter and to provide compensation to persons injured or aggrieved by such violations. It is not the intent of the General Assembly that isolated incidents of misdemeanor conduct or acts of civil disobedience be prosecuted under this chapter. Let me go back and repeat that, please. The General Assembly declares, okay, the original intent. Sounds like somebody's litigating, actually creating law from the district attorney's office. What it sounds like to me, actually from the grand jury room in Fulton County. So let's back up and read that again. The General Assembly declares that the intent of this chapter right here, which chapter is this? 14, racketeering, influenced and corrupt organizations, is to impose sanctions against those who violate this chapter and to provide compensation to persons injured or aggrieved by such violations. That's it. Oh, here's the caveat. It is not the intent of the General Assembly that isolated incidents of misdemeanor conduct or acts of civil disobedience be prosecuted under this chapter. It is the intent of the General Assembly, however, that this chapter apply to an interrelated pattern of criminal activity motivated by or the effect of which is pecuniary gain or economic or physical threat or injury. Do I need to read that again? This chapter shall be liberally construed to effectuate the remedial purposes embodied in its operative provisions. I told you, folks, this is a political assassination of a former president and current president, not in the traditional sense of, hey, there's a sniper over there with a 50 caliber Barrett, 15,000 yards, going to take Trump's head off. No, that's not this. This is a public execution in the mainstream media, perpetrated in part by the mainstream media, as well as the Democratic Party, I don't even know how to describe them because, there are Democrats out there who belong to the Democrat Party, have no idea what's going on. You're programmed. But your party is corrupt and evil and wicked and depraved and doesn't care about the American people. They're trying to bring in all these immigrants. Why do you think the borders are wide open? They don't care about you. They want to flood all this. They want lawlessness. They don't want police. That's why there's no police academy in Austin, Texas, because they defunded it. We're not going to train any more cops. We don't need them. We're just going to let crime run rampant. We're just going to wait till Judge Roy Bean rises from the grave in West Texas and recreates his gallows. No. This is a call to everybody. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives, everybody in between. White, black, red, green, purple, orange. Indian, Pakistani, New Yorker. I don't care. If you're in the United States, you're going to be in the United States. This affects you. This is a national security issue. Absolutely 100%. Political assassination. Make this video go viral. Like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to reach me, my name is Fearless Floyd. Fearless Floyd Show at yahoo.com is my email. FearlessFloydShow.com is my website. I'm the Fearless Floyd Show across every social media platform. I'm really easy to find and get a hold of. A real true legal analysis on Donald John Trump RICO case from Fulton County, Georgia. Have a great night. Thank you for being here. And I hope you learned something. Have a good night. Oh, sorry. I didn't go through all the crimes, did I? Back up, Floyd. Here we go. Let me go find those. And I went through them earlier. That. I'm gonna read this to you, just in case. I'm gonna get back to the actual criminal offense. All right. This is 1412. Same thing. The state may, so there's an option there. In any civil action or civil forfeiture proceeding brought pursuant to this chapter, file with the clerk of the court a certificate stating that the case is of special public importance. A copy of such certificate shall be furnished immediately by such clerk to the chief judge or, in his or her absence, the presiding chief judge of the court in which such civil action or civil forfeiture proceeding is pending, and upon receipt of such certificate, the judge shall immediately designate a judge to hear and determine such civil action or civil forfeiture proceeding. The judge so designated shall promptly assign such civil action or civil forfeiture proceeding for hearing, participate in the hearings and determination, and cause such civil action or civil forfeiture proceeding to be expedited, which means rapidly adjudicated. All right. Criminal penalty. No. I can't find it now. They're looking for this, and I went down the list before. That is the definitions, right? That's probably the only thing I have. Pound on. Oh yeah, there it is. Definitions. Okay, if you didn't go get your popcorn and a beverage, we want to do it now, or just turn it up and go take care of business, because I'm getting ready to spit out some oral vocabulary. Here we go. As you see, 16-14-3. Number one, Civil forfeiture proceedings shall have the same meaning as set forth in Code Section 9-16-2. Criminal proceeding means any criminal proceeding commenced by the Department of Law or the office of any district attorney under any provisions of this chapter. Enterprise means any person, sole proprietorship, partnership, corporation, business trust, union chartered under the laws of the state or other legal entity, or any unchartered union, association, or group of individuals associated, in fact, although not a legal entity, and it includes illicit as well as licit enterprises and governmental as well as other entities. Okay, need I not say more? Pay attention. Pattern of racketeering activity means engaging in at least 2 acts of racketeering activity in furtherance of one or more incident schemes or transactions that have the same or similar intents, results, accomplices, victims, or methods of commission or otherwise are interrelated by distinguishing characteristics and are not isolated incidents, provided at least one of such acts occurred after July 1st, 1980, and that the last of such acts occurred within 4 years, excluding any periods of imprisonment after the commission of a prior act of racketeering activity, or, let me back up a little bit because I wanted to address something for you, are not isolated incidents. Well, let's see. How often does a presidential election run through Georgia? Once every 4 years. So, every 4 years, you're going to commit a pattern of racketeering activity. Is that what we're saying here? Huh? Is that what we're saying, district attorney there in Fulton County? Huh? Is that what you're trying to say? No. Prove it to a jury beyond reasonable doubt. All right. B, engaging in any one or more acts of domestic terrorism as described in paragraph 2 of Code Section 16-11-220, or any criminal attempt or criminal solicitation or criminal conspiracy related thereto. So domestic terrorism. So I don't know. Is Donald John Trump a domestic terrorist now? I think we have one in the Oval Office, don't we? And then one over there at the Naval Observatory, right? And I am not free to chat. Sorry. Number 5, a racketeering activity means to commit or attempt to commit or to solicit, coerce, or intimidate another person to commit any crime which is chargeable by indictment under the laws of this state involving. And I'm not going to read all the I's and 2 I's and, all the lowercase Roman numerals. I'm just going to rip through these, okay? I'm not even going to read the sections. I'm just going to rip through what the titles are. Unlawful distillation, manufacture, and transportation of alcoholic beverages. No. Records and reports of currency transactions. No. The Georgia Uniform Securities Act of 2008. No. Homicide. No. Assault and battery. No. Kidnapping, false imprisonment, and related offenses. No. And I'm saying that Trump had no involvement in any of these, okay? Kidnapping, false imprisonment, and related offenses. No. Prostitution, keeping a place of prostitution, pimping, and pandering. No. Burglary. No. Smash and grab burglary. No. Arson and explosives. No. Bombs, explosives, and chemical and biological weapons. No. Theft. No. Robbery. No. Criminal reproduction and sale of recorded material. No. The Georgia Residential Mortgage Fraud Act. No. Forgery. No. Illegal use of financial transaction cards. No. Use of an article with an altered identification mark. No. The Georgia Computer Systems Protection Act. No. Identity fraud. No. Bribery. No. False statements in writings or false lien statements against public officers or public employees. No. That's following UCC 1s. Impersonating a public officer or employee. No. Attempted murder or threatening of a witness in an official proceeding. No. Perjury. No. Embracery. No. Influencing witnesses. No. Tampering with evidence. No. Intimidation or injury of grand or trial juror or court officer. No. Terroristic threats. No. The Georgia Firearms and Weapons Act. No. Commercial gambling. No. Distributing obscene materials. No. The Georgia Controlled Substances Act. No. Dangerous Drug Act. No. Marijuana. No. Payday loans. No. Insurance fraud. No. Certain felonies involving certificates of title, security interests, or liens. No. Removal or falsification of identification numbers. No. Possession of a motor vehicle parts in which identification has been removed. No. Relating to the protection of elder persons. No. B, racketeering activity shall also mean any act or threat involving murder, kidnapping, gambling, arson, robbery, theft, receipt of stolen property, bribery, extortion, obstruction of justice, dealing in narcotic or dangerous drugs, or dealing in securities which is chargeable under the laws of the United States, any territory of the United States, or any state in which is punishable by imprisonment for more than 1 year. C, racketeering activity shall also mean any conduct defined as racketeering activity under 18 U.S.C. section 1961(1) in any violation of 18 U.S.C. section 1028 or any violation of Title 31 U.S.C. sections 5311 through 5330. 6, real property means any real property situated in this state or in any interest in such real property, including but not limited to any lease of or mortgage upon such real property. So there you go, folks. Every one of those are the criminal acts that have to be defined in the indictment, have to be proven. Okay, here it is. In winship. Okay, INRE. Winship, WINSHIP. That is a United States Supreme Court case. I want to say it's like 97 US something, volume 97, I want to say, just off the top of my head. Here's the holding. United States Supreme Court holding. Law of the land. All elements of the offense shall be alleged in the indictment, proven to the jury beyond a reasonable doubt. That's it. They have to be alleged and they have to be proved. Every element, not some of the elements, all of them. So they're going to have to allege one of these and another one of these, similar or not, that Trump violated with, what is it, 15 other people, 18 other people, something like that? I don't see anything in here. Nothing. Nothing can touch him. What I see is a bunch of obstruction justice by the district attorney's office in Fulton County, disrupting a political election. That's what I see. I see domestic terrorism. I don't know what y'all see. That's what I see. I see a terroristic threat on the homeland of the United States of America. Y'all have a great week. I'll see you when I see you on my next show, the High Noon Show. Noon, Central Standard Time, live on YouTube or pre-recorded when I'm not available to do it live. Thank you for being here. I am your host, Fearless Floyd, and I'll see you when I see you.